running it in country as a flying faculty activity, but that is far too much. Even if we tried to do it with the Doon School in India. If we go into schools, the cost is around about £18,000 per person. And that is far too much for many of our developed countries. So what we found, though, with all of our experiences, that we can help change teaching practices, not to tick boxes for QTS, I have to say that, but to actually enhance learning opportunities and outcomes for the really most important people in this. And the most important people are the students in the classroom, because they are the country's future. And I think that's really possible for us to do through this, but it's a real challenge to do it. So the program itself is a level 6 at honours level. That's done deliberately because from developing countries, many of the university's qualifications do not equate directly with a good honours degree. So by running this at honours level rather than master's level, it means that we can attract people with the equivalent of an ordinary honours degree, a level 5 qualification. Certificates like the one from Cambridge or the diploma, from Cambridge, for example, would be good baseline. It has 2 modules, Thinking About Learning, which is module 1, and that starts by getting you to reflect on yourself as a learner. How do you learn? And that's quite interesting. And then how do children learn? How do the students in your classroom learn? What are the factors that might be impacting on their being able to learn? But then returns back to thinking about those things and how we then apply them in the classroom and how we evaluate our learning. What lenses can we use to evaluate? The second module shifts then into thinking about learning within the teaching. And that is looking at things like assessment for learning and inclusion. How do we include all children in learning, including those who are struggling to learn? And those are really important aspects, and I think vitally important for if you were then thinking about coming to the UK or even America, if you wanted to go elsewhere with your qualification, those 2 modules will help you talk about the things that really matter in qualified teacher status in different countries, certainly the developed countries. It's fully online, and we use a platform called Moodle, but it's supported through formative feedback. We have a whole timeline when we give you feedback on activities you're doing as you're doing them through the program. And I think that's really important. The critical friend is the support you get in country. But of course, you will also be given support by VO1 in Nigeria. They would give you support too. The Voice of One would support. Another important thing is that you have to have, because the qualification is in English, you have to have good English levels. Ted, you mentioned that, but actually we have a baseline, and it's usually measured by people having English as the IELTS. But it can be measured through other ways. And we are going to work with VO1 to see that there might be ways that they can do some assessment for us in country, and we accept that if you apply to us. So this is a little bit about the assessment. I mentioned that it's continuous. So one of the things of qualified teacher status in developed countries is that teachers are required to demonstrate a continuous development of their professional attributes and qualities. We use the teaching standards for England, which can be adapted for teaching in Nigeria, but quite easily. That's what we've done. And we have everybody use a portfolio, in fact, not even the beginning, pre-course. So you are sent, when you apply, you are given a pre-course handbook, which has some activities in it. And so you start learning even before you begin on the course. There are 5 sections in this portfolio that include those pre-course activities, observations. It's really about continuous assessment processes, used in lots of professions, not just teaching, but it demonstrates or evidences. The portfolio will give evidence of your continuous professional development. The essay has for module 1, it's a 2,000 word essay, and module 2, 4,000 words. But you can't put them, people are worried about these AI systems now where you can just put in a question and you get an essay written for you. You can't do that with this because you have to make connections between the activities on the course and the observations your critical friend has made of you and your discussions with them, and your learning journal, which you've kept all the way through your reflections. And that's for both essays. So they can't be written by anyone else but you. There's no examinations. Now, at one level, people say, oh, that's good, that makes it easier. I would argue it's actually more difficult because you have to be going all the way through. You work consistently through each module, and your work is probably half as much time again as your teaching work. So it's really major. You are working on the module, you're reading, you're engaging in the module activity, you're writing responses, writing assignments, you're speaking to people online, you're sharing resources, you're being observed by your critical friend and having discussions with them about your learning. And that is a continuous process all the way through. So that sort of sums up the module, the program. I've stopped sharing, so hopefully if there's any questions, I can see 10 new messages in the chat, but very happy to remove my spotlight and now open it up to everybody if they would like to ask any questions of me.
I actually don't have a question, Kim. I just have a comment. And I noted that we are the experts in Nigeria.
You are.
And
absolutely.
That's one of the things I love when I speak with you. You empower people. You tell them, you want them to bring out the best. And I just want to point out that one of our teachers was put on this, I believe it's an IPGC, International PGC, with Kim. And now one of our teachers was struggling and she didn't let us know because sometimes, and I've noticed that with quite a number of our teachers, for whatever reason, they don't want you to know because we had said, if you need anything, come to us. And Kim actually went out of her way to look for me, to contact the head teacher of our school, to make sure that this lady was able to give her best. That just blew my mind, and I really want to thank you. I won't lie to you, I still haven't gotten feedback from her. I've been trying to get feedback from her for quite a while, remotely. But the time when I spoke with her, it has changed the way she's applying it in the school, and she's also impacting other teachers in the school.